Hey, welcome to the channel, and today what I'll be teaching you is actually how to scribe. This is a problem I had with when I was starting out. There were not a lot of scribing tutorials. The ones that I found were not in English. There was one Korean channel, I think Ravi Pla, which I watched over and over again, but there were no instructions. Basically, he just videoed how he did it. And one of the biggest things that people, when they start scribing, is how do you do symmetrical lines? So I figured that my friend gave me this kit. This is, by the way, this is the MG Zeong. This is not the RG one. I have the picture here of the RG. So what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be copying the details of the RG Zeong to the MG Zeong skirt. So with this one, I will teach you that how to scribe symmetry. So if I do a line here, I have to make sure that the line here is the same length as the line here, and it's the same distance from there and the same height from there, so on and so forth. So we will take inspiration from the RG Zeong, which I have here on the screen. Really beautiful kit, and it's about, the actual Zeong's about this size, so it's about 3/4 the size of the thing. And we'll be doing the front as well. So as you can see, the MG Zeong skirt is one entire big piece, where the RG one, this is a separate piece, that's a separate piece, that's another piece, and the front skirt splits into several pieces also. So follow along. We're gonna start by roughing out the surface a bit so we can sand it. That way we can use a pencil to draw out a rough outline on what and where the panel lines will be. This one's kind of easy because we're sort of just copying the one from the RG. So if you want to design one on your own, this is the easy way to do it. Sketch it out. If you see it looks right or not. If it doesn't, how do you know if it looks right? Well, easiest way is to go to the internet, type custom Gunpla or custom whatever that you want to do. Then type the word resin conversion. Usually these things have a lot of panel lines in them, and it's the stock armor. That's a good reference to copy off, and you will see what looks good and what doesn't. The rule of thumb for this one, which I've learned a long time ago, is that the letter S shape is the one that's to do. These are mostly S angles. I'll show you what I mean in a while. So going by our RG Zeong reference, so if you don't know where to start here, the easiest way to go about it is to see which lines that you have here are the closest to an existing edge. So in this case, this is all like a butt, this is all round. The nearest reference point we have to start is this one here, this edge over here. So as you can see from the RG, this basically, it cuts right there. It's a parallel line that goes on this edge. So we're gonna do that one. One way to get parallel edges is to simply just layer the scribing tape over here, but that's too thin, so we're going to be using this 3M tape here. There, and follow the edge. You can see if you lay it out here by the edge, it sort of, yeah, that 4mm thickness is the one that bisects this vent over here. So we just lay it out and follow it up to here. Now, since we have that line, we can now establish this triangle thing here in the middle. So we have a rough outline. Need one of these things. It's a very, very old school compass. This is what I use to mark out the same points. As you can see here, we will take them there and pretty much go here. That looks good, so dot it there. Go over to the other side, do the same thing, dot it there. As you can see where my drawing is kind of horrible. This one's off to the one side, this one is not very on the other side. Then we can go ahead and do the same thing for the cheek part here. Have that, we'll take our 0.3 scriber. 0.3 is a good size for MGs. I can do RGs also in 1144. So we start scribing here. Go here where the dot is. First few passes, don't put any pressure. Let the tool do the work for you. This is where a weighted handle comes in nicely. So the weight will just let you gouge into the plastic there, and then by the 4th, 5th time you can apply a little pressure and then scrape off a little more material. There, that's about 3 to 4 light strokes, then 4 to 5 deep strokes. So that's your scribe line over there. Do the same thing for this side. Same thing for this butt cheek section here. Now we can proceed to do this line. So this line has to go up that way at an angle. For reference points where you can tack a straight line on. So for our purposes, this notch here looks to be perfect. We'll see where that goes. There. So from our dot line there, you can stretch it. Okay, that looks good. That's a nice angle over there. So this line can be repeated to the other side. Take your calipers, measure out a distance. That looks kind of good. Over there. If you want to be scientific about it, you can get an RG kit and copy off the proportions and multiply it by 1.3. That's or 1.35 if you want to be pretty exact about it. Actually, no, you multiply by 1.44. From 100 to 1.1, from 100 to 1.44, yeah, you multiply by 1.44, then you'll get the distance if you wanted to do an exact RG copy. So since we're winging it right here, yeah, that looks good. Or maybe I'll dot it there. You can put the scribing tape over the 3M masking tape. That's not a problem. It's not gonna lose any grip over it. It's the same thing. It's a guide. and we want to make this next line over here. So this line has to curve up that way as well. Again, we can try to use this point as reference, and let's draw the line, see what happens. Yep, that looks good. So we're gonna be scribing it from the inside this time, not from the outside. So yeah, that looks good. Mark it out. This one, according to the reference, seems to be higher than this one, so increase it a little bit here. Triangle there. That looks good. Very good. Now we can get rid of these two lines here. We don't need them anymore. You will end up with a pile pretty much like this. You'll be tempted to recycle your scribing tape. Don't do it. One wrong move is not worth that little piece of tape that you're trying to save. So don't worry, this tape will last you a long time. I'll tell you right now. So this started out as a roll bigger than that, so it's about that thick. This has lasted me pretty much 5 kits already, and I'm still not done with it, so don't scrimp on it. Anyway, we have our scribe lines from there to there, there to there, and then so we want to make a point where they meet somewhere here in the middle. Then you can connect the lines. So we'll mark it out at 22 here, so that's 22 right there. It's good. So we check that if it's right. Okay, that looks to be about in the middle of the both of them. So what you do is you mark it here on the tape here. Scratch a line. And then pretty much you can line that scratch up with here on the top. Let's see what happens. Nope, that's not correct. Go back. There, that's the more correct line over there. So do a quick check before you scribe anything. So both here and here, so that's where the marks line up, and there and there. Okay, that looks a bit too high. Yeah. Dot that. And dot that. Now you can connect these 2 points, that one to there to there. right, and there we have Scribe something symmetrical on both sides. If you want to check out your work and admire it, you can simply dab and make it easier to see. Put some panel liner on it and watch the panel line flow. Yes, we still have to sand this a bit, but at least now we get a good idea and reference of where our scribe lines are, and we can use these other scribe lines as references. It's the same process all throughout. For here, you can, again, if we look at the back side, we have several reference points. We have this point here, that point, that point. So if you want to continue this, you can continue all the way there. And then here you have several points of references too. If you want to slice up to the middle like a big triangle, you can have this point and that point of reference. You can cross it there like that, and then put another tape there. So you can make a shape like this. So run that across there. Over there, that bisects that. Then you can connect that there. You have this as an entire scribe segment right there. See, not that hard, just takes a little bit of practice. Well, okay, a lot of practice, but basically that's the same idea. And what I said before about having S lines, like this stock one is an S line, so it's not a Z. A Z is like this, so you want this kind of line. It's like that. That is the partition that is universally accepted as a desirable cut line for mecha, not just Gundam. The other cut line that you can have is like that. See, it's more obtuse angles. You don't want a cut line has a pointed. Well, that is semi-acceptable because you have two of these things here. So yeah, this is the one that's a no-no. The letter Z. So no, not for that one. If your design comes out to something like that, change it. So we're gonna continue doing the rest of this one and just follow along, and we'll show you the aftermath of all our scribing. A nice detail that you could easily add is like this, or what we call a double line. It kind of exists here on the stock piece. On this part, that's a double line over there, frame like this one. So anyway, that's it. That's how we're supposed to do it.